This is the 3pm Takeover, Radio Northern Beach's only drive-home show.
Keep it right here for a whole hour of fresh hits and entertainment for your Wednesday afternoon.
Here we go.
This is Rivers by Thomas Jack. Happy Wednesday. You are listening to the 3pm Takeover. That was a really cool first song to start us off. That was Rivers by Thomas Jack. I don't know anything about him.
Neither do I. All I know is that I love that song.
I know. It's great, right? It's a really cool song. And it is really, really warm this week. It's been really, really hot. But I'm actually looking forward to summer, and we're going to talk about that later in the show. We're going to talk about our summer plans. You're not a summer fan though, right?
No, I'm the opposite. I'm a
Winter
summer...
gal.
What's an anti-fan? What's the opposite of a fan?
Hater.
Yeah, okay. I'm a summer hater.
You're a hater.
I will come out and say it.
Here's the thing though. I was just saying to you before, I actually haven't been home during summer for quite a few years now. And so I'm actually kind of looking forward to it. I love this time of year when it's getting warmer and everybody gets a bit more positive. Do you find that? People come out of like a winter personality slump and you start to kind of feel a bit brighter. Like even if you don't like summer, something about like a warm evening, I find it picks me up a bit. I feel better.
I don't like hot days, but I do like warm evenings when you don't need to put on like an extra couple of jackets or a scarf and the wind isn't so biting. I do like the warm evenings, but I don't like that the payoff for that is that you have to have a hot day.
That's true. It's a lot easier to get dressed when it's warm though.
Yeah, true. I do find that there's better sunsets this time of year. I do notice that spring has really good sunsets.
Nothing like a pretty sunset.
It's true.
It's true. Okay, I got some weird news to start us off. I was trawling the internet, as I do, and I found out a really, really weird fact that totally affects us.
Why?
Because we have blue eyes.
Oh gosh, are we about to lose our eyes?
So, no, we're not. But
good, I need
there,
mine to look at pretty sunsets.
That's true. People out there that have blue eyes, really interesting new study came out that actually means that you and I are related.
What?
Somewhere. So cool, right? There was a study done at the University of Copenhagen that has found that there's a genetic mutation that took place around 6,000 to 10,000 years ago that's the cause of all blue-eyed humans alive. So technically everybody with blue eyes is related.
That's so weird.
Isn't that strange? Because that's like so many people. So this research that they did that they've been doing for nearly a decade has found that everyone actually has one single common ancestor.
Wow.
Every single person with blue eyes.
That's quite cool.
It's weird, but it's cool, right?
What about, that must mean the same for like people with green eyes because they're even rarer.
I don't know. This is about...
Who cares? We're blue eyes.
Who cares? We have blue eyes. I only know about blue eyes. But what always confuses me though, on top of that, is the whole thing that like all babies are born with blue eyes.
What? Are they?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense that they are.
Yeah, all babies are born with blue eyes and then either your eyes stay blue or they go brown within like a week.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like a weird genetic thing.
I've never heard that. That's so freaky.
Yeah. Look it up. It's a thing. It's cool, right? It's weird though.
It's very weird, but it's quite cool. I always like, maybe it's just because like I have blue eyes, but I really like blue eyes. The look of them. Then there's such a variant of the shade of blue. You can look like a very grey to like a very rich blue. It's really interesting.
Blue eyes are nice. Although I have a little story about blue eyes, a little bit awkward. So I was on my very first date with my now partner of a few years and I have blue eyes and blonde hair and he was sitting opposite me and he was like, I really, really like blue eyes. But I don't like it when it's sort of really generic combination, you know, like with blonde hair. And I was just kind of sitting there and he was like, I really love blue eyes and brown hair or like brown eyes and blonde haar.
And you're like,
and then he kind
sorry,
of,
babe.
And then he kind of looked at me and I think he realised and it was a bit awkward. And I was sitting there like, this got called generic.
Wow, that is not exactly how you should compliment a girl. I mean, obviously it worked because you're still together.
It was such an ouch though. But I think it's funny because I don't think he stopped to consider for a second that I had the combination of features that he just said was like boring and generic. Like they were the words he used was boring and generic.
But you know what? I'm going to take that secondhand compliment that he likes it when it's blue eyes and dark hair and that looks nice because that's what I have.
Because that's what you have.
Out of your pain, I'm going to take my own little bit of compliment.
You do that. I think that's nice.
That's what people, you know, sisters do because we're related because we both have blue eyes. So thanks, sis.
That is so damn creepy. Anyway, we are going to be back right after this. Make sure you do not go away. We're going to talk a little bit about taking care of yourself when we get back.
Very important.
It is important.
It is.
We
But in
focus
the
on that.
meantime, enjoy some Ellie Goulding. This is a great new song. It's called Still Falling For You. Welcome back to the 3 p.m. Takeover. That was Still Falling For You by Ellie Goulding. I love that song and I love that movie that it came from. That's from the new Bridget Jones, which if you haven't seen, go out and see because
Such a good film.
so cute, so funny. Bridget.
I
Oh
was dealing with emotions though. Have you noticed that so often in the last few years they're starting to do sequels to films that were like way long ago, and you're like,
So
I don't know
many-
if my heart can handle a new one.
There've been so many revivals lately. It's a thing.
weird.
I kind of like it though. It's really nice. It's a nice callback.
It is, but I feel like I have to, like with Bridget Jones' Baby, I had to go a couple of times before it would sink in because I was such a fan of the first two that the first time I saw it, I couldn't quite process and I had to go back.
Wow. I feel like it kind of, but I feel like it all started when Toy Story 3 came out. That was the first real
that's true.
callback to when we were much younger and having a movie of the same series and franchise come out, like a new one.
Yeah,
quite
that is
cool.
true. And then like Finding Dory
Yeah.
so many years later, like
Yeah.
13 years later, something crazy.
Yeah. Well,
Whoa.
yeah, and then they brought like Monsters University. Those kind of ones that harked back to our youth.
It is a thing, right?
But I personally love movies because I don't know, they're just a way to really treat myself and enjoy something. If for the pure
too.
moment of enjoying it, you can just sort of sit back and enjoy a movie and really appreciate everything that goes into making it. And I personally have found the last probably month or so, I always think I'm fairly good at taking care of myself, but I realized the last month I'm really bad at it. Like
Really? I think you're good at it.
I think
Sometimes.
at face value I should be good at it, but I'm not. Like I'm slowly learning to teach myself little things like take my full lunch break. Yes, I have work to do, but I need to take my lunch break.
I
That's a
was
small
thinking
way
about
of taking
that.
care of myself that I'm really bad at. And going to
Yep.
bed on time. I'm so
Yep.
bad at that. Like I really need to enforce it on myself so that I'm happy and healthy and not tired and ill like I have been the last couple of weeks.
I feel you so much with the lunch break. I was sitting at work last week and I realized it was like 2 or 3 weeks since I'd actually left the office between 8 and 5.
Really?
Because not because I didn't have the time to, but sometimes I just
don't
I
feel
just
like it.
forget to.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And then I'm like, that's really bad. I need to go out, get the fresh air, take a couple of walks around the block. And especially I find my eyes have been like really affected. I sit in front of a computer all day and it's really great to get outside, get away from the screen.
Definitely. Yep, I feel that one as well. Just sort of, because even if I'll have lunch at my desk and sometimes I'll have it at I won't be working, but I'll be at my desk. But then the times that I actually step away from my desk and have lunch away from my computer, I'm like, oh, my eyes can rest. Like,
Yeah.
even doing that, like I need to properly step away and I do deserve that lunch break. Like there's nothing, like yes, I've got deadlines, but I'm not going to work as well if I don't take that mini time off for myself.
Yeah. And also like I'd say in like 99% of corporate job cases, you're not actually paid for half an hour for a lunch. So you should
True.
take a lunch break.
Very true.
And that's going to be my new goal. I'm going to make sure that every day this week I take my lunch outside.
Good on you.
It's going to be my thing.
Good on you. Well,
As we said, like the weather's getting nicer. You have no excuse to stay indoors unless it's raining.
That's true. It's meant to rain later this week or next week, isn't it?
I don't know. But I found out how cool is this. In my office, on my floor, there's one of those virtual golf rooms. So I might go and play golf.
Oh my
I can
gosh,
go and play
really?
golf at lunchtime.
That's so cool.
That's a way to look after myself, right?
Sure.
Golf
I don't see why not.
of the virtual variety. That's okay.
What are some other ways that you take care of yourself? Because I have a friend who loves doing. She does a manicure and a face mask, and that's how she takes care of herself every week. And I think that's
that's fun.
That's a really sweet way of doing it. That is, I need to start doing more face masks, or just eat less sugar, / be healthier in general. But let's back to you.
Anyway, what do I do to take care of myself? I also really like getting my nails done. I love getting manicure. I find that's a little bit of me time.
A mini pamper.
Yeah, pretty much. And I used to look at yoga as my like way of looking after myself, almost in a very like wholesome like guru type way. Like I got well into the like namaste spirit kind of thing when I was doing yoga, but I don't do it now. And I used to do so much yoga, and it's something I have to get back into because that was definitely how I looked after myself. But I think the main thing that I do every night is I heat up my heat pack and I put it on my shoulders and I have a cup of usually like lemon and honey tea, and I read my book for a bit, like in dim light.
Yeah.
And it really like it relaxes my shoulder muscles after being at the computer all day, and the lemon tea sort of makes me a bit sleepy, and the low light helps me get to sleep as well. So that's kind of my thing. I try and do that most evenings.
That's really nice. I might take that and utilize it.
Because I find that I sleep better if I really do the whole wind down thing before I go to sleep. Like when you start getting old, you need to like take these tips. Like,
why do you say that? I'm a year older than you. Don't let us say that kind of thing. But make me feel twice as old.
Okay, oh my God. We are not old, but like my body needs like, it's not as agile as it was in my teens. It needs time to like relax itself. It can't just be like, bam, asleep, bam, awake. It has like a time period now.
Yeah. Yep.
The body is not what it was in childhood.
I know exactly what you mean. Every morning I get up and I stretch before I properly start my day, and I find
that's good.
The mornings when I don't have time, like when I'm like, like I slept through my alarm and I have to get up, I feel so stiff the whole day. I'm like, oh, my body's not as flexible as it used to be. I need to stretch every morning now.
Definitely. But anyway, if you have a little thing or a little ritual or whatever that you like to do to take care of yourself, let us know, because we want to hear and have tips. Another way to take care of yourself is like really inspiring, uplifting music. So this is a song that I definitely think fulfills that. So enjoy. This is Wings by Delta Goodrem. Welcome back. A little bit of Delta Goodrem. She's so good for a Wednesday afternoon, mellowing down. It's getting towards the evening. She's like so inspirational.
I was going to say, speaking of like a hark back to our youth, which we were discussing in the last segment, things like the revival of certain movies and series like Bridget Jones, which started when we were younger and then they've reprised again later. Delta Goodrem was one of those, she was really active and big in our youth, and then she kind of went quiet for a little while, and then she's come back again.
I really hope that one day she just releases like a really badass song that's like really out of character, not like a really like emotional, uplifting type song. I want her to come out and just do a really grungy like sex song or something that's like totally out of her league. Just for fun.
She's Australia's sweetheart. I can't have the illusion shattered. She was like my idol growing up.
Okay, yeah, she was cool.
Yeah.
My dad took me to meet her once when I was really young.
Wait, you got to meet her?
Yeah. But she was like
she was my first concert.
Too famous.
She was the first concert I went to, and it was incredible.
I figured she can't have been that famous when I met her because it was in Big W.
Yeah, probably not.
So I don't think she was like overly famous then. She was just like getting a bit famous.
Anyway. Sold out shows yet.
No, not quite.
How was she nice?
Yeah, she was lovely.
There you go.
She was really cool. It was really what's that word? It was really intimidating to meet her in the flesh. She was really cool and I was really not cool. I was about 8. And I was like,
no one's cool when they're 8.
She probably was.
Yeah, true. Anyway, if you guys have noticed, we were saying before, it's getting a little bit warmer these days, which means spring is well and truly here.
Spring has sprung?
It has indeed. It has sprung quite active and aggressively, I think, with the heat.
It has. It's been a really long process to get to warm weather, but we're there now.
But with spring comes spring cleaning, and I love spring cleaning. I love
cleaning.
Yeah, that's true. I love getting rid of all the excessness of my life.
Yeah.
I have so much
baggage.
I have overflowing shelves and drawers at home that I just need to clear out, and just putting spring in front of the word cleaning is a good enough reason for me.
I can see that. There is one thing about spring cleaning that I am looking forward to, though, is that I moved into a new apartment when winter started. So all my summer clothes are like downstairs packed in boxes, and I haven't seen them for months, and I can't actually remember some of the things I own. So when I go downstairs to get out my summer clothes, it's going to be like a whole new wardrobe because I don't remember what I packed.
That's really fun, actually.
Yeah, it is kind of cool.
That's good.
So I'm looking forward to that, and that'll be like the transition of some of my stuff from summer to winter because all my summer stuff is packed. You just like change it around and
Nice. Do you have any do you spring clean every year? Are you an annual spring cleaner?
I don't know. I'm quite a progressive cleaner. Like I don't let things build up. So I think
See, I do let things build up.
No, I don't. So I put it off
and then I'm cleaning. Like, I should spring clean. And there's like so much to throw out.
Yeah, no, I've never done the whole spring clean thing. I've never thought about it really.
I used to love cleaning out my room. My mum and I would usually in the school holidays, we'd sit down and we'd just do a big sweep of my whole room and clean out everything. And it was just,
that's cool.
It was the best. It was great. I felt so much better afterwards. Like you feel so much lighter.
My mum and I did that like every 10 years.
Oh my goodness.
Not like every spring.
No, we did it like every second school holidays probably.
Oh, no. See, look, when I moved out of home, I was finding like test papers from year 5 maths and stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
And how did you go? Was it a good test?
Nailed it.
That's why you kept it. No,
Pretty much.
Wow, that's insane.
But it was kind of nice though. It was nice to know that there were mementos from that long ago still really intact.
Yeah, true.
Which is
true.
cool.
It's nice. Little history of hope.
I know.
Hope-story.
That's true. We still have a lot of my school stuff though.
Oh, really?
I don't have like, notes or anything, but sort of nice things I did at school, we've kept pretty much all of.
Oh, that's really good though.
Yeah, it's fun.
The weekend before last, I was cleaning out a box which had all my old primary school, high school, and university like workbooks that I don't need. And it felt
You mean
so
like
good.
textbooks kind of thing?
No, not textbooks, the exercise books.
Yeah,
so
you
the ones
still
I
have
wrote
those.
in.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I didn't realize I still had them. It felt so good to throw them all out and recycle them. It was a very good feeling. I was like, what a weight. I don't remember anything that's in them. Like,
Yeah.
And it's weird. I don't know why I kept them. Like, there's no reason I was ever going to go back and reread them.
But it's one of those things you sometimes think just in case I need it.
Yeah, I suppose. But like primary school, my old geometry books, I do not need those. I know my shapes now.
I was very much like that until I finished university though. I was like, oh, I better keep all my stuff just in case I need it because I'm still studying. Once I finished my degrees and everything, then I felt like I could get rid of it all.
I think that's why I didn't feel any like hesitation in throwing it up because I finished my degree now and I know what my career is now.
No more study for you.
Oh, yeah.
That's a thing.
But there's a few little techniques that I've come across and discovered that I thought might be helpful. If you guys struggle with spring cleaning or just cleaning out in general, one that I found really handy for my wardrobe is clothes that they say to do it with all clothes, but I usually just do it with the pieces that I love but I know I don't wear. You put the hanger the other way round, and so at the end of a season... you put the hanger the other way around, and if you wear that piece of clothing, you turn the hanger the right way round when you put it back in your cupboard.
Whoa, that's
so
clever.
that at the end of the season, you can look at your the row of hangers, and the ones that are like the wrong way round, I love that piece, but I never wore that.
Yeah,
and I've been
so you
doing that for
obviously
a few
don't need
things.
it.
Yeah, and it's good to do
Wow.
that. It's good to do that over like several seasons because obviously there might be like a really nice jacket, but you're not going to wear that over summer.
Yeah.
You do it over winter, and it's really interesting because you'll do it and you go, oh, I actually only wear like half of my wardrobe, and the pieces that I keep. Obviously, there's some pieces that are like really nice dresses for special occasions that you may not have had a chance to wear, but you'll keep. But that's always a good one, and I've actually thrown out a lot of pieces of clothing that I just don't wear, but I always think I do because I always see it in my wardrobe.
You know what?
Yeah.
I employ that technique too, but in a different way. So funny thing. I am much more of a drawers person than a wardrobe person. I just always was. If it's still folded by the end of the season, I didn't wear it.
Don't you wash and refold your clothes?
Maybe.
That's a no.
I don't always fold them. If it's still folded exceptionally neatly, it was not worn. That's how I can tell how the season went.
The system still holds up, so I'm okay with it.
It does. There's a drawer one too. Look in your drawer. If something is really, really neatly folded, you probably haven't worn it in a while.
Look,
Just saying.
If it's in my household, it just means it's probably just been freshly washed and it's been put in there. Everything in my drawers and everything is so like freshly folded. Like I switch because I've got a higher cupboard and a higher shelf and a lower shelf, and I have t-shirts in one and long sleeve tops in the other, and I just switch them because now we're coming into warm weather. And wear t-shirts more. And
damn, you're organised.
they're all so neatly folded. I don't. Your system does not apply to me at all.
My stuff is folded. I just wouldn't say it's like. I can tell the difference between something that was folded recently and something that was like folded last time I did a clear out. There's a difference in the folding.
See, things don't go back in my wardrobe or back on my shelves or drawers unless they're folded properly.
All right. I have nothing more to say.
We may both have blue eyes, but we're very different people. Welcome back to the 3 p.m. Takeover. Those were 2 excellent back-to-back songs. We hope you enjoyed them. That was Faded by Alan Walker, and then we just heard Secret Love Song by Little Mix. And before that, we were talking about spring cleaning. But what follows spring is summer, which is a big holiday time. And
Until you get a full-time job, and then it's not any holiday time.
And then it's just hot outside when I leave work rather than...
and hot all day while I'm at work.
Yeah. But you were saying, the very start of the show, you teased us with saying that you had a little bit of your summer news coming up. Can you now divulge in it for us?
My summer news?
Well, you said that you hadn't been home for a couple of summers or something.
Oh, it's true. So I've been away. So I'm lucky I've done a lot of traveling in the last few years, and I've spent January overseas for quite a long time now. And so I've never been home in January. And it's going to be like not a nice January because I work full time. So obviously I don't get any time off.
Yeah.
So every single day in January where I'm used to, like I'm in what's it called? Like a
routine?
Yeah. I can't think of the word I want, but you're in like a set way whereby you're just used to doing something. I feel like that's me and going overseas in summer now. So I'm going to be a bit...
You're breaking the cycle.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready for it. And I'm especially not ready to work in the time I usually holiday.
Oh, life is so hard. But you're getting paid, so you can't complain too much.
Yeah, that's true. Although some days, do you ever sit at work and you're like, I'd take no pay to not be at work?
Yeah,
I'd take no pay to be sitting on an island somewhere.
Some days I would take no pay in general to not be at work, depending on the job you have. But other days I really, really love my job and I'm like, you know what? Even if they didn't pay me, I'd kind of be happy to be here today. Do you have days like that?
I do. But do you know what?
I guess that's a sign of a good job.
I have that. That's true. And I do love my job. But what is really cool actually though is when you work full time, and of course, like if you followed the show for the last year or so, Victoria and I have, we've become... We have, yeah. So we were university students last year. Now we are both full-time workers. And it's a really interesting transition because when you work full-time, the smallest holiday you get feels like the longest time. So last week with the long weekend, that felt like weeks by the time I went back.
Yeah.
It's just such a long time. And then by the time it finishes, you're like, all right, I'm ready to be back in the office. It's been a bit too long. Like you get a bit confused.
Yeah.
Do you find that?
Yeah, I think it's funny because when I was a university student, I was always like, what's a weekend? Like every other day is a weekend. I have days off. And now that I work, I'm like, weekends are so important.
Yes, I know, right?
Yeah.
But then I always feel bad if I don't utilize the weekend.
Yes, it gets Sunday. I'm like, oh no, I've done nothing and it's my only time off for the week. But
all I've done is the groceries.
But in saying that, when I was a university student, I used to come home from uni and just keep working because I had to, my brain was constantly switched on for my projects. And I think it's really lovely now that I can come home and I don't have...
You were.
I can come home and I can absolutely not think about work and I can laze in front of the TV and not feel guilty and not feel like I have stuff I should be doing.
That is true.
I do thoroughly enjoy that part of life now.
That is good. That is very true. But going back to summer, I get 2.5 weeks off work actually because my office is doing forced leave.
Oh, over Christmas?
Over Christmas.
We have that as well. The 2 weeks of Christmas and New Year, we have 2 weeks off as well.
Yeah, so I've got forced leave
which I think everyone may. So it's going to be a holiday, but which everyone has. So it's just going to be a very long weekend where everyone's always around.
I think I finish on the 16th of December, the Friday, and I don't go back till the 9th of January.
Nice.
So it's a really long time. And it's great now because my parents have moved. They've moved up north, and so I'm going to spend most of that time up there. So I'll be it'll sort of feel like I'm on holiday. I'll be in a different state.
Yeah.
So it's like a mini holiday.
That's perfect.
So I'm looking forward to the sun, and I'm not this kind of person usually, but I can't wait to just lie on the beach because I have not done that for so many years in summer.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Every now and then I actually miss the beach and then I'll go to the beach there's sand everywhere.
I'm such a beach liar if it's not too hot. I'm happy to just be there tanning in my hat and reading.
Oh, really?
I'm happy to do that. I'm not as much of a swimmer, but I'm definitely a liar.
See, if I'm going to go to the beach, I feel like I may as well go. I may as well go swimming. I can't just sit in the heat and read because I don't like being overly warm.
Depends how hot it is.
Yeah, I mean, if it's that kind of nice temperature where it's not too hot, but in the sun you're nice and warm, that's good. I do like
Often
that.
It's good. Up where my parents live now, it's breezy.
Oh,
so when you lie
nice.
down, there's a soft breeze, so you don't get
but
too
it's
hot.
not too strong that all the sand gets whipped up in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If any of you have been down to Manly in the last couple of days, I was there on the weekend, and it is so windy at the moment. It's ridiculous.
It is, yeah.
You can't even walk, and it's been like that for the last few days. I thought I was going to get blown over.
But you didn't.
Literally.
Thankfully, you made it here today.
I did, but it's so windy down there. If any of you live in Manly, let me know if you've been feeling the wind. for the last few
safe.
days.
Don't
It's
blow
been
away.
crazy. I am not even exaggerating right now.
No, I was in the city on the weekend and it was really windy, especially by the water. The wind coming off the water was lovely and cool, but it was very strong.
It's always windy by the harbour though.
True.
Even if it's not windy, it's windy
But
there.
it was more windy than normal. It was very
Yeah.
strong wind, so
That's
which was
crazy.
actually really nice because it's quite warm, so I didn't mind it. But yeah,
That's the other thing I like about summer is it'll be really, really hot day, but as soon as you get to the evening, the southerly comes through and you get the summer wind, which is always so
lucky with that.
nice.
Yeah,
Love
it is.
summer wind. But
Such a
anyway,
blessing.
yeah, tell me about your summer. Do you have, like, we're gearing up now. We're obviously, you and I are so ready for summer already. Ready for Christmas, XYZ. Do you have any holiday plans, any summer plans, anything on your radar?
I don't really have any holidays really lined up, but like you, I have the 2 weeks off over Christmas and New Year. And I'm actually looking forward to just sort of bumming around the house because I don't get to do that anymore now that I work full time. And I think I really want to make everyone's Christmas presents this year. So I'm looking forward to
I was
having
thinking of that.
having crafty days and just sort of spending
fun.
time at home. And it sounds really cliche, but just like being with my family. And
Yeah.
I think
No,
my brother
feel
and
ya.
I think my brother and I might be going up north to see my grandmother lives up near Port Macquarie.
Oh,
I think we
yeah, that'll
might
be fun.
venture up north for a couple of days and see how it goes, which could be good.
That's exciting. I'm sort of in the back of my mind potentially thinking of flying across to WA.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So one of my friends is moving there for work. So
Mm.
I'm thinking of going.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
I was away last Christmas, so I was with family last Christmas, but I wasn't like at home. So I'm looking forward to having sort of being at home for Christmas and being around family. as
I have
well.
never had a Christmas not at home. I could not do that. It'd be so weird.
Really?
And actually, weirdly enough, for 2 years in a row, I arrived home after a long time on the 24th of December,
Really?
which was the coolest thing. It was so much fun. But I couldn't do Christmas away from home. That'll be so odd.
But all my Christmas away from home have been with family.
Yeah, I guess. But
And it sounds lame, but that's when you realize that Christmas really is about the people you're with and
not the place you're in.
Yeah.
I guess
I mean,
so.
home makes a difference to a certain extent, but I think it'd be very different if I had Christmases where I was with strangers or by myself. But I've always been with family every single year, so it's been lovely.
You can tell that I'm just melancholy that I moved out of home this year. I want things the way they were.
Yeah, that's fair enough, though. I think that's normal.
That's true. But anyway, as we get closer to the Christmas season, you're going to hear a lot about Christmas because Victoria and I both
love Christmas.
it. So we're going to be talking about it in the lead up to it, and especially since we've both been thinking about DIY type things, I reckon we're going to talk a lot about that.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have
Because-
some great craft ideas if you guys are thinking of DIYing your Christmas presents this year as well.
And especially for me, I'm going to do baking Christmas presents for my office. So I found a little
cute.
like recipe book thing that has, gluten-free, like everything free type Christmas treats. So like everyone can eat it,
Nice.
because there's always someone that's like, can't this, can't that, can't whatever. So this
But
is
it's good that
like
you're including them.
all the things that people, like all the problems, allergies, whatever that people have, recipes that like can be eaten by anybody.
Aw, how very all-inclusive of you.
Yeah, so I'm going to like bake them and wrap them and then like put a little tag with their name on and a little tag that says like gluten-free, sugar-free, everything free, fun-free, but
Fun-free.
fun-free, nothing in it.
Aw, it's not their fault, though.
That's true.
If it's an intolerance, they can't help it. Anyway, how bitter of you to end our segment on. I'm going to end it happily. I love Christmas and I am literally like basically counting down the days till it's like acceptable for me to play Christmas music.
Oh my God, on the weekend I saw mince pies in Coles at Manly.
I saw that as well. It's not even Halloween yet. That's not okay.
And I saw Christmas...
Decorations and food? No. I
I saw
love it, but
Christmas
have to
chocolate
wait.
socks as well. You know the socks with the bars in? I saw them in Woolworths last week.
Oh my God. It's getting earlier and
Wow.
earlier every year. Like I love the Christmas season, but it's not as special if you do it all year round. It's got to be just for the Christmas season, which is like November, December.
I'm okay for it to kick in post-Halloween, but we've got a few weeks till that. So.
Yeah, November onwards
Hold
is
out.
fine. Middle of October, no. Like, come on, supermarkets, get your act together.
You are listening to Red Northern Beaches, 3 p.m. Takeover with Hope and Victoria. That was Keeping Score by LDRU. Great song. Love it.
It's very cool.
It is. It's got
Got
like
a really good beat to it.
got a funk to it.
Yeah,
Something you
we
gotta get
sound so
into.
old. Every time we talk about music, we always sound so... It's got a great beat to it. It's really funky.
God.
I apologise, listeners, if we sound really old. I swear we're not that old.
Yeah.
We're not as flexible as we used to be, as we discussed earlier in the show.
Oh my God, it's
Our
true
bodies
though.
are aging, but our minds are not.
We're still
Isn't that what old people
sort of,
say?
I don't know, do they?
I don't know.
I'm not
Anyway.
young. I mean, I'm not old.
You know,
I'm not young.
Freudian slip. You are old.
I don't know what I am. I don't know. But anyway.
We hope you guys have enjoyed the show today and so far. We've got one last segment for you, and that last segment is, of course, Suburb Focus.
And we have a really exciting Suburb Focus this week. Like, hold your horses. This one is cool.
My horses are being held. Do tell.
Ready. Okay, so this week we are talking about freshwater.
Whoa, my horses are going crazy and everywhere because I'm so excited.
Freshwater is a really cool suburb. I personally love it. I spent a lot of time growing up there. I was a nipper there for many, many years.
I was going to say, good beaches there.
So the beach is a special one for me. And I think to start off with, the thing that I think we all know about freshwater that's probably the most significant thing is that up until 2008, the suburb was, of course, called Harbord, which we all knew. So when it got its name changed, like that was a really big deal. You know, it went on for a really, really long time. And it was actually in 2003 that the Chamber of Commerce submitted a request to what was then Warringah Council to ask the Geographical Names Board whether they could rename the suburb to Freshwater. And they did a huge public consultation. It took 2 years. And finally, it was voted, and quite a big population wanted the change. There were 774 people that said yes to changing the name versus 161 that said no.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so then the suburb was officially renamed Freshwater in 2008. So it was a 6-year process.
That's so interesting because whenever we've gone back through Suburb Focus, all the suburbs that have had name changes, all their name changes were like, the latest would be like the 60s.
Yeah.
The 2000s is really late to have a name change. And I wonder if there's any
quite
suburbs.
unusual.
What if there's any suburbs today that will actually get a name change in the future?
Yeah, it's quite a big thing when they have name changes. But what is actually interesting about why Harbord changed to Freshwater is I found out it was actually originally Freshwater.
Oh,
there is a story behind this.
It was actually changed back.
It was. So get ready for this.
I'm ready.
The area was first inhabited by an English sailor in 1815. So not like quite early when we think about the suburbs in the area. After the Guringai people moved inland and out of the area. And it was called Harbord the very first time to honour the wife of the current governor of New South Wales, Lord Carrington, whose wife was called Cecilia Margaret Harbord.
Oh, wow.
So they named it after her, and the suburb was actually called Harbord Estate. So then the residents thought that it was a bit too poncy because it was right by the beach. You know, Harbord Estate sounded a bit too fancy. So they decided that they wanted to have it changed because they wanted to attract more holiday residents to the area. And they called it Freshwater because what is now Ocean View Road, which as we know leads right down to the beach from higher up, used to be a freshwater stream.
Really?
Yeah, that whole road was a massive freshwater stream.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's why they decided that they would call the suburb Freshwater.
Wow.
Yeah. So it went from Harbord Estate to Freshwater, and then there was a small estate behind Freshwater that was still called Harbord, and after pressure from residents in the later 1800s, they decided to call the whole suburb Harbord again, because they thought Freshwater was too informal.
Wow.
So they went the other way.
So it was the initial problem that was solved then became its own problem.
Became another problem again, which is so weird, right?
Wow. I would love to have something named after me.
Victoria Estate.
No, I don't know. Well, the Queen Victoria meant
well, it was her
lots of things were named after Victoria. I don't know. I would find it such an honour to be named after. Like I think they discovered a new species of spider a couple of years ago and they named it after David Bowie. I would just love to have something named after me. I think it'd be such a privilege and an honour.
I think it would be really cool to have a university building named after you or something.
Oh, you would.
well, I think it's cool when you have some sort of building named after you, or a room in a building.
I would love to have an animal named after me. That just shows exactly what kind of people we are. When they discover new species, they'll name like new species of bug they find or something. I'd love someone.
Oh, I wouldn't.
If you discover a new species of animal, feel free to name it after me. I would really love that.
Oh, that's kind of cute.
Take pride and honour in that, no matter what the animal is.
That's true. That's kind of nice. The last thing that's interesting about Freshwater is, of course, it was quite well known at the time. In 1914, Duke Kanamoko visited, who was one of the really famous surfer. If you know your surfing history from back then.
Even I know who he is.
Yeah, well, there we go. And he was from Waikiki in Honolulu. Beautiful city. I've been there. And so now Waikiki and Freshwater are actually twin cities, and every couple of years the mayor of Hawaii comes over here
Oh,
and like
cute.
visits and stuff.
Oh, that's really
Kind of cool. And that's just
sweet.
like freshwater specific. So it's not tied to the rest of the beach or anything. It's just freshwater.
That's so awesome. When I was over in LA, I went to a restaurant called Duke's, and the whole place was basically in honor of him. And had,
that's fun.
Some of his surfboards, and it was very like Hawaiian themed, and all the food was kind of
there we
Hawaiian.
go.
It was a really good restaurant, so that's why I know about him. And yeah, he's a big deal.
I was going to say, I was impressed you knew someone in sports, especially from someone from that long ago.
Yeah, but he's very well known.
And a water sport, because you hate water and sports. I'm impressed.
Thank you. I'm glad that even after all our years of friendship, I still continue to surprise you.
Every day.
Oh, it's true.
Sometimes it's like you don't even know your own sibling, right?
The blue eyes. Oh, goodness. But thank you so much for sticking around with us this week, guys. I've had a blast. I hope everyone else has had a blast.
I had a fun time.
I did. And let us know the ways you take care of yourself and your tips for spring cleaning, because I know I could definitely probably utilize some of those tips. And
God, I
tricks.
could probably use all of them.
Yeah.
As we know, I'm not the neat one in the two of us.
No, that's true. But you know your history, your sports.
You can't
history,
be everything.
It's true. And diversity is what keeps it fun and fresh.
This is true.
Yeah. But we're going to end today's show now. Have an excellent week and keep song requests coming in, because we love when you guys request songs, and you've got to stay tuned to listen if your song is coming up next week.
That is
Otherwise,
true.
Catch us on Friday for the retakeover, or we'll see you next Wednesday.